Now, as you can see right here, as of recently, I've been doing quite a bit of buying in my long-term portfolio, stacking more shares of different dividend-paying stocks and ETFs to once again try to achieve a new goal of more forward dividend income month over month, and all by doing so in a relatively safe manner. Now, because of this, I think it's about time to do another entire portfolio overview, look into my 7-figure dividend growth portfolio, and share with you every single position more or less that's inside. So if you want to see a behind the scenes look into my portfolio, all the stocks and ETFs that I'm holding on to, make sure to stick around, drop a like down below, and let's get right into it. Real quick, for those that haven't already, make sure to go to the first link in my description and grab my new dividend investing ebook, where I share exactly how I went from $0 invested to now earning over $6,000 on a monthly basis and over $1 million invested in the markets. Along with the ebook, you're also going to receive my custom dividend tracker, where you can track your dividend progress on an ongoing basis and reach your dividend investing goals. So make sure to grab yourself a copy of my dividend investing ebook and the new dividend tracker today. It's the first link in my description. So here we are inside my entire portfolio. This is more or less every single stock and ETF that I'm currently holding across multiple different brokerages. I do have brokerages on multiple different platforms, and I have been investing for around 8 years as of this moment. Now, just as a side note, you also can grab this exact same custom dividend tracker. It's the first link down below my description to track all your progress and see all of your stocks and ETFs in one place. But as of right now, across the entire portfolio, keep in mind these numbers are completely estimated, so do not come at me and say, oh, this stock offers a different dividend, etc. It's all estimation just to give us an idea, but we're talking around $88,000 per year in dividends and around $7,400 more or less per month. And just based off of the actual money that I see coming in, that's honestly pretty close. But now I want to go through the entire portfolio, share with you some of my favorite positions, and of course talk about some of the newer stocks and ETFs that I've been adding a lot of as of recently, in case you guys are interested. So first off, I added some recent shares of BDJ, the BlackRock Enhanced Equity Dividend Trust, just a few shares here and there. I currently have around 1,760 shares more or less across all my portfolios. Next, Devo, I have just shy of 1,500 shares of Devo. I have actually grabbed a few more shares of Devo as of recently. Now, Devo is a dividend ETF that I kind of buy some here and there whenever I have a little bit of extra cash balance and I don't really know what to buy. This is because Devo is pretty well diversified. I believe in the overall strategy, and because Devo is very low beta, so it's sort of like a store of value. It's better than having money just sitting in the accounts. Next up, I still have my 1,262 shares of Verizon stock. As of recently, I've been very bullish on Verizon, finally for the first time in multiple years. Verizon was a position that I was worried about, thinking they're going to cut their dividend. Verizon's going to keep trading down to the ground, but as of recent, it's done pretty well, so Verizon sort of got my trust back, although I still am looking to sell off my shares of Verizon. If you want to buy them for the right price, come along. 1,000 shares of Apple still in my portfolio, nothing new there. We have 2734 QLD, nothing new there, I don't think. We still have our 2,705 shares of Realty Income. I did not buy any more Realty Income as of recently, I don't think, because it has went up in price as of recently, although maybe I did buy a few shares in my smaller portfolio, I can't really remember. I have 1,218 shares of JEPI still, 748 shares of Enterprise Product Partners. We still have our 700 BST. We still have our 510 shares of JEPQ. We have our 3 shares of ZIVB. This one's interesting, definitely look into it if you haven't already. We still have our 246 in NUC, our 194 of XYLD. We then have our 689 shares more or less of SHG. I do have to go through again and do a final count because I did buy some more shares today. But as of right now, we are basically closing in on 700 shares of SHD. Just to go over some of my goals, I wanted to get to 750 shares minimum by the end of this year, and maximum I wanted to get to 1,000 shares. Now, of course, I could sell off some positions and move things around and probably hit either one of them very easily, but I wanted to achieve those numbers with more or less natural just cash balance and reinvest in dividends along the way, and it looks like we're probably going to hit my smaller goal, the minimum of 750, which is amazing. We then have our 311 shares of Altria, our 261 of Triple N REIT, our 100 shares of JP Morgan, which JP Morgan just did another dividend increase, so did Triple N REIT, so did Vici. Lots of dividend increases across the portfolios as of recent. 293 shares of Vici, more or less. We have our 59 shares of Kinder Morgan, our 256 shares of Main Street Capital. Then we have our 351 shares of WP Carey. WP Carey also did a dividend increase of like 0.5% as of recent, so I guess it's something, but another one I'm not the biggest fan of. I bought a little bit too much of it back in the day. 351 shares. I'd rather have this in Realty Income or something else, to be honest. We then have our 47 shares of PNW still, our 255 of Tesla. We have our 24 UPS, our 20 PBA. We have our 18 Arbor Realty Trust. We then have our 16 extra storage space. We have our 17 Simon Property. We have 654 of SVOL. Now, SVOL's been an ETF that I've been interested in for a while now, especially during the most recent, I guess you could say, quote unquote crash, when the volatility index did spike like crazy. It was fun to see SVOL react the way that it did. It held up pretty good, honestly. So for that reason, I bought some more SVOL. I probably will cap out this position at around 1,000 shares. And honestly, I probably won't buy much more of it at that point, just because with the size of my portfolio, I think that's more or less enough for what I'm looking for. But as of right now, we're around 650 shares of SVOL. Like I said, I'll probably grab a few hundred more shares at some point here, maybe on some dips, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Then we have our 9 shares of Stag, our 8 shares of T-Row, our 19 shares of Kimberly-Clark, our 3192 of VNQ, 200 Coca-Cola, we have our 700 PSA, we have almost 700 of SPYI, another one that you guys know I've been buying a lot of as of recently. Then we have our 12 of FEPI, which FEPI, interestingly enough, was an ETF that I was pretty bullish on a while back, but it hasn't really traded in the way that I thought it would, so I'm kind of happy I didn't buy too much FEPI, because at one point I was kind of thinking about loading up on quite a bit of FEPI just to get exposure to the names that are within it. But as of right now, 12 shares of FEPI, maybe I'll buy more soon, maybe not. Then we have our few shares of DGRW, just a starter position. We have a starter position also of the Fidelity High Dividend ETF, 4 shares there. We have 8 shares of VIG. This is another one that's new. I just started buying VIG, I think 2 months ago. It's pretty expensive. It's around $200 a share right now, so we don't have too much of it. But VIG is one of my favorite dividend growth style ETFs, and hopefully by the end of 2025, we'll have 100 or so shares minimum of that one. That's going to be one of my new daily buys. Then last but not least, we have 212 shares of SPYT, the Defiance S&P 500 Target Income ETF. This is one of my newer favorite quote unquote ultra high yielders. I've been having a lot of fun investing a small amount of money, relatively speaking, into some of those names like SPYT, even into names like SVOL. I haven't added any QDTE or XDTE into the portfolio. I know a lot of you guys probably have those in your portfolio, but I really haven't found fit for those as of right now. Now, as of right now, that's where the portfolio is sitting, and currently I'm using my $7,400 or so odd dollars. Again, every month is different. Some months pay me more, some months pay me less, because keep in mind, not every single one of these names pay out on a monthly basis. A lot of these are quarterly payouts, but I've been using all of my dividend income that's coming in consistently, and at this point, it's definitely coming in pretty consistent to buy more shares of more stocks and ETFs across the portfolio. And honestly, I have to admit, over the last year or so now, in my 8 years of investing, it feels like more than ever, I have more than enough cash balance to purchase my daily buys. My daily buy goal is to buy at least a share of SHD, maybe a few shares of this or that here and there. So as long as I can buy a decent amount of stocks and ETFs, a decent amount in my eyes at least, consistently to add to my long-term portfolio daily from just money that's coming in from my portfolio alone, meaning that I'm not doing any other deposits as of right now, more or less into the portfolio. I'm just using the dividends and buying more dividend-paying stocks and ETFs, which of course in turn buy me more dividend stocks and ETFs later on. Now, because I'm currently 32 years old, I'm going to try to do this for honestly as long as possible, but most likely in the next few years, I'll start taking out some of the monthly dividend income and using it for things like bills, vacations, help family and friends, etc. But as of right now, more or less, this is where the portfolio is at. Like I said, not every single position necessarily is 100% updated, but this is more or less where we're at. And to give you an idea of what I'm trying to purchase as of right now, ongoingly throughout the rest of 2024 and even early into 2025, I'm trying to buy a ton of SHD, some more realty income, and then I want to have some fun and buy some of those ultra high yielders like SVOL, SPYT, and maybe some other ones on top of that. And then probably next year, I'm going to switch up my strategy a little bit more, maybe move into some dividend growth, boring names like VIG, DGRO, DGRW, some names that I don't even really have to pay attention to. That's of course if I'm not at the point to where I want to be with my dividend income, because my longer term goal as of right now is to get to $10,000 per month, which we still are pretty far ways off of that. So now that we went over my entire portfolio, you guys saw every single stock more or less that I'm currently holding as of right now and how much dividend income I'm more or less receiving on a monthly basis. I lastly want to hear from you guys down below. If I were to ask you to pick one holding in my entire portfolio as your absolute favorite, which one would it be? Drop the ticker symbol in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.